What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Dinner Crew on the Real Talk Podcast on IntellectualRadio.com. It's about to go down. We almost had an altercation today, guys. And the altercation I'm talking about is we almost couldn't get to the studio because it decided Mother Nature decided to send some ice down up out the sky.
Well, we made it, brother. We're here.
Yes,
Nothing can hold us back. We Shy City, baby.
Nice hat.
And we know how to do it.
I just noticed we all
got on hats today. All right.
Dinner
we got the memo.
Oh,
we
man.
got the memo.
Crew, baby. We are united.
So
that's how we do.
Well, stuff coming from the sky, it's a hat day for me. When I hear stuff gonna start falling, I'm like, oh no, not on this. And then I go,
all hell came down.
Literally.
So listen, it is time for the Real Talk Podcast at Intellectual Radio, where we feed your brain. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are going to check in with you a little later. Sim is going to check in with our listening audience a little bit later on in the show. But if you are you want to be a part of the show and you enjoy what you hear this evening, please don't hesitate to call us at 708-223-8953, 708-223-8953. We have a current and relevant conversation coming to you, the Dear Real Talk letter, and much more. I'm your fly guy, and kicking it off, Dinner Crew, we have been on location all weekend for the past 2 weeks. So I did the visitation for our late great icon, civil rights legend, leader, Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson Sr. Simeon, you and Lady Crystal did the funeral service at the House of Hope.
I did the TV. I sat in front of hours and hours.
Wanda did virtual viewing.
I did virtual. I was there virtually days, and I enjoyed every bit of it.
So the experience was, I felt, extraordinary. I felt like the experience encompassed a lot of the accomplishments and the achievements of Reverend Jackson. Reverend Jackson did a lot. I know that the funeral was initially supposed to be a 3-hour service. It's impossible to talk about a man that gave 6 decades of his life to humanitarian service in 2 to 3 minutes. Now, we're talking about global achievements in Syria, the release of hostages. We're talking about the civil rights movement with Dr. King. We're talking about from the SCLC to Operation Breadbasket to Operation Push to Push XL. We're talking about everything that Reverend Jackson did, and they were told that they only had 2 to 3 minutes. Now, Simeon, take us into the House of Hope with you and Lady Crystal, and let us know what was the energy like in that space.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to all of the security, all of WVON, Channel ABC, everybody, Channel 7 ABC, everybody for welcoming us in with open arms. They welcomed Intellectual Radio, the Real Talk Dinner Crew in. Lady C and I, we went in and we did our thing, did a bunch of interviews, took pictures, and I forget sometimes that I guess I'm somewhat of a little like a celebrity. So I forget that, and I had that press pass on, but they didn't even see my face got me in. So I was like, cool. But it was just cool to mingle with the people, and this being a funeral, but it was a joyous occasion because we were celebrating the legacy and life of someone who did so much for so many people. And he was 84 years old. So he was in the overflow of his life. And just sitting there and taking everything in, from Hezekiah Walker to Jennifer Hudson to the choir singing to all the dignitaries, the presidents and vice presidents and all of the distinguished people, his grandkids, hearing them speak so eloquently. It was such a good experience to be there, and not only be there, but we were like right up front. So it was one of those things where we got to take in the ambiance and the experience. And I got to meet Reverend Jesse Jackson and do some work with Operation Push. I'll put the video up for you guys tomorrow. But being able to be a part of that, Fly Guy, we've been doing a lot of work, brother. And I saw the fruits of our labor
Yes.
this past weekend. And I just want to thank everybody that supported, everybody that came out, everybody that celebrated the life and legacy of Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson Sr.
All right. Now, Wanda B, you were virtual. So what did you take away from what you observed during the services at Rainbow Push?
I loved every minute of it because I really felt that he was sent off well, that the celebration of his life, because not only was I learning more about him, so many people shared their experiences with him, whether how they met him, what he meant to them. And it was moving. I was crying here and there, and I love seeing his family, his wife. I mean, it was very touching to witness. I was glad that I dedicated my morning to doing it, because it felt like history, being a part of history. And it was sad, but also that a job well done, really a job well done. He did it. He lived his life, like you said, in the overflow to the fullest, that every moment counted, that every he could go back years and years, and people, so many people had such pleasant experiences with him. It was great to watch. I was glad to be part of that history.
It was, and I enjoyed watching his daughter Santita present the song service.
Hmm.
She really presented that. She ministered through song and she held her composure. You know, that was their dad. So to the world, he was Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. But to those children, that was their father.
Right.
She talked about how she went to prom, and she talked about Dr. King not living to 30 until he was 39. He died at the age 39, so he lived to be the age 39, but he didn't get to see his daughters go on prom. She talked about Malcolm X. Malcolm X lived to only be 39. He didn't see his daughters go on prom. And so Reverend Jackson didn't expect to live long, because he also was a part of the same structure. And so the fact that he showed up the night she went on prom, she said she outright screamed when her father walked in the room, because it was the joy of being embraced by the unexpected. I am just happy for the experience that they had, and I'm pleased that they were able to literally give their father a proper homegoing service. Now,
And it was, Flag, I was so cool that we were there for 8 hours, literally, not figuratively, literally, but it did not seem like 8 hours. The time just moved and moved, and you listened to what people had to say and how they honored him and paid homage to him. So it was one of those things where the time didn't matter. And like you said, and I just have to mention this, Isaiah Thomas, I think he gave the best speech of the day on Friday when he talked about his experience with Dr. King. And I mean, not Dr. King, Reverend Jesse Jackson, and what he meant to him, and how he told him to say, I am somebody, and how he lifted him up on his shoulders. And not only that, when they played the Lakers in the championship game, he came to the game. So Reverend Jesse Jackson was a man of his word, and he always did what he said he was going to do. And he was for real about his people.
Reverend JJ 2.0. That is awesome. Now, we talked about a lot of the greatness, but for one Jackson family member, he didn't think that his father was given the justice that he deserved by the 3 U.S. presidents. Reverend Jesse, Congressman, I should say, Jesse Jackson Jr. talked about how he sat for 3 hours listening to 3 U.S. presidents speak about his father, and that these presidents did not know him as well. They really did not understand the man that we knew as Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson Sr. Now, we know that former President Barack Obama was there, former President Joe Biden was there, and former President Bill Clinton was there. So those are the 3 presidents that Reverend Jackson, that spoke at Reverend Jackson's service, and that Jesse Jackson Jr. seemed to be displeased with. Word on the street is Reverend Jesse Jackson's son is pissed at Barack Obama and Joe Biden for slamming the former president. They're slamming the former presidents for using the civil rights leaders' memorial service to throw jabs at current president Donald Trump. Now, in the initial press conference that the family hosted, Jesse Jackson Jr. stated his words: if you're going to to the service, come to the service without politicking. We don't want anything talked about or referenced or any activities or action items that are politically based. So when these gentlemen spoke, Jesse Jackson Jr. was displeased with that. Now, President Obama said there's a new assault on our democratic institutions each day. He also said we're told by those in high office to fear each other and to turn on each other, and that some Americans count more than others. Some people matter, others don't, and that some don't even count at all. Now, President Joe Biden agreed and stated that he bashed the Trump administration for not sharing any of the values that we have as basically Democratic-based Americans. Bill Clinton, on the other hand, kicked politics to the curb during his speech and instead talked about his warm relationship with Jesse Jackson, despite what Jesse Jackson Jr. seemed to think in the contrary. So, when Simeon, you were there. What did you hear when so Jesse Jackson Jr. was displeased? Did you hear what Jesse Jackson Jr. heard out of those former presidents' mouths?
I did. I recorded it. I heard it, and that's his dad. He has the right to feel the way he wants to feel about the situation. If he felt that they shouldn't have been doing that, that's how he feels. And then another thing you have to remember, Reverend Jesse Jackson ran for president. He fought for equal rights. He was in the fight. He did all these things. So it would be hard not to talk about what's going on in the world, in the country, when you're talking about Reverend Jesse Jackson. He was a part of that movement. He stood for equality. He wanted people to stand up and do the right thing. He didn't want to see people like Trump or other people that's harming this country and this government. He would have stood up for the same thing. So I can't get mad at him for saying that, because this is who Jesse Jackson was. This is what he stood for. So they felt the need to mention that in reference to Jesse Jackson and the things that he fought for and stood for. And they also talked about their relationship with Jesse Jackson and what he meant to this world. Barack Obama gave a heartfelt speech about what Jesse Jackson meant to the struggle and the fight. So I can't get mad at him. Maybe it was a moment where the Jackson kids were in their feelings, and it is their dad. So you have to give them some grace. But I'm not mad at Barack Obama and people speaking their mind on what's going on with the country. Why? Because there were millions and millions of people watching. And this is the time for you to stand up, speak out, because that's what Jesse Jackson would have done as well.
Well, I kind of disagree, because I think that you should always respect the family's wishes at a time like that. When people are grieving and they ask you to govern yourself in a particular order, I think that you should oblige that. I don't think that every experience should be taken as your opportunity.
I agree with that.
I think that if President Obama talked about there's an assault on the democratic institutions, if President Biden began to bash Donald Trump, first of all, Donald Trump wasn't there. So why bring him into the room? He wasn't physically there. So let's take this one day to honor a man of excellence and not focus on rhetoric. Let's take one day to not get up and use this man's funeral as an opportunity to vent. Let's take one day and use this opportunity to really focus on the guest of honor. And the guest of honor was Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson Sr. So, Wanda B, do you think Jesse Jackson Jr. was out of character, I'll say, for the words that he spoke against those presidents that he said did not really understand who his dad was.
I I give him grace. It's his father's funeral, and those requests should be honored. But so I sat and watched it on TV. More people actually did it than just those presidents.
Yeah, everybody did.
It was a Jewish leader. Other people spoke negatively, and why I can see why they did it, because when they did it, I cringed because I knew Junior had said, "Don't bring this to the funeral." But it's so opposite. It's so polar opposite. What Jesse Jackson Sr. stood for is so
Yes.
opposite of what we're going through now, that I could see why they were trying to pull or bring the juxtaposition that this is what he wanted, what he stood for. We need more of this
But
than
is the
what we have
funeral
right
the
now. The
place
funeral
to
is
do
not.
that?
But not only that, Fly Guy, you have to remember who these people are. They've been doing this. They've been in this fight in politics, in this fight their whole entire life.
But this
How?
is not
But
a
wait,
political
no,
platform.
that's not what I'm saying. How do you honor and talk about a man like Jesse Jackson and what he stood for and what he did, and not also encourage people to stand up and fight as well, and go for it as well, and put
To do
the
what
bad
Jesse Jackson Sr. would
to
want
do
us
what
to
he
do.
would do. That's all I'm saying. I'm not taking up for anybody. I'm just saying it would be hard to stand there and not only honor him, but not also speak on what's going on and what we should do as a people, because that's what they were talking about, what we should do as a people to help change the narrative. So that right there is something that justifies what Jesse Jackson stood for and who he was.
I
So
don't think
that's
it
all I'm talking
justified it.
about.
I do see though that this is not your speaking engagement. This is this
I get
man's
that.
home garment, and the family has their wishes. You go do your own show, go do a podcast, go do and tell it from your perspective.
Right.
I do feel like that was the wrong place and time, but at the same time, I understood how it could slip up in the course of you like passionate
Yeah.
about
That's
this.
yeah.
I could see how it could happen.
That's all I'm saying.
And I kind of feel like more people did it than just those three
They did.
presidents.
But
They
I
did.
and to your point, more people did do it, but there was an expectation
Yeah.
of these particular people that if someone comes to us and says, well, I know you all are in media, I know that you all understand the fancy of things or whatever, there's a greater expectation than someone for the first time walking up to a microphone and not really knowing how to dilly-dally, not really knowing how to maneuver,
You know
what to say in a situation,
what to do, right?
exactly. And so
I get
because you have a level of expertise, there's a different expectation.
I get that.
So I think that once again, sticking to my guns,
Mhm.
I don't think that funeral service was the time to take that opportunity to vent and talk about Trump, to talk about an assault on the Democratic Party or whatever is going on. I think that you can describe and define who Jesse Jackson was as a man. We all know that he said, down with dope, up with hope. We know that he was in the civil rights movement. We know that he crossed the Edmunds Pettus Bridge so that people could have the right to vote. We know all that already.
Mhm.
So based on that, we don't have to give a new scenario about why people should vote based on who's currently in office.
Well, it's
and
not a
what's
new.
currently
It's
going
not a
on.
new
That's not.
scenario.
We're
Fly
not
Guy.
telling a new story.
But Fly Guy, it's not a new scenario. You have to understand this, Fly Guy. You talk about it every week about the person in the Oval Office and what they're doing to this country.
But I'm not doing it at anybody's funeral.
Let me finish. Let me finish. You are passionate. You stick to your guns. You talk about how this man is not running the country right and the things he's doing. So, as a person in a position that has ran, that has fought, that is always sticking up for this country and have the same values that you have, to stand in that arena, in that position, it would be hard. I'm not saying that it's right, but it would be hard for you to not say something about the current situation. Why? Because we want the current situation to get better. We want it to improve, and we want to change what's going on in this country. That is why I think it comes out of people like those people, because that's what they've been fighting for. Heck, Barack Obama, his hair went from the color of my shirt to the color of this paper, fighting for this country and trying to do the right things for us. So you have to understand, this is in them, it's who they are. And even if they had their agenda not to do it, at some point the passion arose, and then it came out. And that's who Jesse Jackson was as well. And you know that, and I know that, and we've seen it time and time again.
I get it, and that's the passion is there. I understand that, but once again, I don't think that was the place to do it. But if you have an opinion about this, call us at 708-223-8953 and let us know what your thoughts are on what President Barack Obama, President Joe Biden, and President Bill Clinton stated at the homegoing service of our beloved Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson Sr. If you think Jesse Jackson Jr. was out of character, was out of his lane, call us and let us know what your thoughts are on what you heard at that homegoing service.
And I think we can take
time and a place.
We could take Joe Biden out of the conversation because nobody understood what he was saying anyway.
Well,
and I was right there.
No one. Now he want to extract Joe Biden.
No one understood what he was saying. You understood what he was saying.
But also in political news,
but wait,
your girl Kristi Noem was fired on March 5th. The occupant of the Oval Office, canned 86, got rid of, no account. Kristi Noem.
You're fired.
Kristi Noem was fired. You're fired.
Do you?
Everybody
now,
is a part.
Did they say fired or reassigned?
Well, it says headlines say she was fired. He's saying she was reassigned, probably to be compassionate about it. But nonetheless, everybody is talking about how ill-equipped she was for the job to begin with. It states that she was unqualified for the job from day one and largely responsible for the awful excesses of ICE and the frustrating failures of FEMA. She was a poor excuse of a leader. She starred in $9 million worth of goofy ads. She did. She was on that commercial telling people, if you leave now, we'll let you come back. What kind of sense does that make? You're trying to
who you think you talking to?
You're trying to get people out the country, and you think I'm gonna call you and say I need a one-way ticket to Venezuela, and then you're gonna let me back? Among other things, Kristi Noem was unable to define habeas corpus, a basic constitutional principle, at a Senate hearing. It's just ridiculous. She baselessly called 2 Americans killed by immigration agents domestic terrorists. She took time out to criticize a country music singer over his lyrics critical of immigration and customs enforcement, and reportedly spent $172 million of taxpayer money on 2 Gulfstream private jets. Now, under her leadership, ICE eliminated age requirements for applicants. So there was no age requirement for applicants that wanted to join ICE. Many of whom reportedly failed an open book test on immigration and constitutional law. She allowed agents to wear masks, hide their identities, and conduct raids. She expanded the controversial use of administrative warrants not signed by judges to forcibly enter people's homes. She had rebuked from multiple federal judges for refusing to follow court rulings. She violently, I'm gonna say it one more time for the people in the back. She violently detained at least 170 American citizens and had its deadliest year in 2 decades, as 32 people died in custody. And then the 2 American citizens who were shot and killed while observing ICE agents at work. Wanda B, do you feel relieved that Kristi Noem is no longer in her position?
I feel relieved for the moment. The new person that has been put in that position.
Mullen is not qualified either.
So that's why I'm like, well, let's see what he does next. I don't know if we should be relieved if he continues just a different person doing the same things. So I'm gonna wait and see for that. But I'm glad she's gone.
What you just said is so true. They'll move one out and move another one in, and she pissed somebody off, and they didn't like it, and they decided to get her out of there because she was with their agenda. She was doing everything that they wanted her to do. So why did they get rid of her? There was
Well,
something
she
going on.
also outed Trump
She,
and said that he knew things that he
yeah,
claimed he didn't know about.
like I said, like that goes back to my point again. She pissed somebody off, and she had to go.
It's
So
a
it's one of those things where it's a vicious cycle, man. It doesn't end. It always continues, and it just get worse and worse. So
it's just
that's
done for because now we'll feel better. But this new person may not necessarily do things different.
They're not going
they
to
they
do
come in
things
and do.
different.
They're going to come in and follow the agenda. Wanda B. They have to follow the agenda. This is not. You get put in that position. That doesn't mean that you're gonna. Oh, now I'm gonna run it the right way and do what I want to do to make things right. No, you're gonna listen to the powers that be. You're gonna do what they say do, or you're going to be out as well. So, with that being said, I want to give a shout out to Damon Reed. He's an artist here in Chicago. I'm rocking his shirt. This man has done murals for the Still Searching Project, which highlights Black women and young girls that were kidnapped or abducted. They can't find them, don't know where they are. They're still searching. He's put big murals up all over the city. He's made it known. The families love him. He's doing great things at the high schools and just encouraging people and working with the youth. So shout out to Damon Reed and his wife Nicole Reed for the Still Searching Project and everything they're doing. And this super dope shirt I'm wearing, I love it. Where the man has the neighborhood in the palm of his hands, and his hat is like my hat. So shout out to Damon Reed.
Now, the Real Talk Dinner Crew would like to acknowledge the March celebrity birthdays. Justin Bieber had a birthday on March 1st. Bon Jovi had a birthday on March 2nd. Jessica Biel had a birthday on March 3rd. And coming up on deck, Lady Gaga will have a birthday on March 28th. Celine Dion will celebrate her birthday on March 30th. And the queen of sound, I will call her, Lady Mariah Carey and Quentin Tarantino and Fergie will celebrate birthdays on March 27th. Happy birthday from the Real Talk Podcast at Intellectual Radio, where we feed your brain.
And my brother Jacob Henderson will celebrate his birthday on March 26th. Since we shouting out March birthdays.
Happy birthday, Jacob.
Okay.
What zodiac sign is that? Aries?
Aries.
Now, Alexander Butterfield died on March 9th at the age of 99. Do you all know who
What?
Alexander Butterfield is?
I can't believe not Alexander.
Yes, Alexander.
goodness.
Mr. Butterfield is gone.
Who is
So
that?
Alexander Butterfield is responsible for delivering the heroic testimony against President Richard Nixon. So we
Really?
know that Richard Nixon came out of office because of Watergate. He was committing crimes in the office as president. And Alexander Butterfield was working as a part of his cabinet, but he felt compelled, which is what people need to do now. This is why I'm bringing this up, because Richard Nixon was a Republican. Richard Nixon was in the White House. Richard Nixon was committing crimes on American soil. But this man had the courage and the mitigated gall to step up in court. And he told the judge that there were recordings of Mr. Nixon on President Nixon on the phone, that he had access to the tapes. The tapes were released. The tapes
Was
were
that Watergate?
That was Watergate. And Richard Nixon stepped down. He resigned. And his successor, Vice President Gerald Ford, came into office, but then Gerald Ford pardoned him. But kudos are going out around the world to Alexander Butterfield because he stepped up to the plate. Lindsey Graham, are you listening? Is anybody listening in the MAGA world? Step up to the plate and do what's right. That's all I'm saying. Alexander Butterfield is a role model for erring on the side of righteousness. International Day to Combat Islamophobia. Now, we as African Americans, we have been discriminated the most. Islamophobia. people are discriminating against Muslims. This has existed
I saw
for
that.
a long time and has now intensified. So even when we go back to 9/11, remember how Muslims were treated after that, and Arabs,
Yeah.
just like when COVID came and people were mistreating Chinese people and Koreans and all of that, Asians. It's unfortunate that it's good and bad in everything.
There, that
And
is.
I think that we can show some empathy to this group because we as Black people have been discriminated against. We go all the way back to slavery, then Jim Crow. In 2022, the United Nations General Assembly adopted a resolution sponsored by 60 member states of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, which designated March 15th as the International Day to combat Islamophobia. Islamophobia. In 2024, the General Assembly adopted a resolution on measures to combat Islamophobia, condemning to incite to discrimination, hostility, or violence against Muslims. Now, Muslims have been attacked. There are some record high complaints. The Council on American Islamic Relations reported in early 2025 that complaints of discrimination and bigotry remained at record highs for the third consecutive year, with 2024 data showing over, listen to this number, 8,600 incidents. In Minnesota, a man was arrested and pleaded guilty to arson targeting two Minneapolis mosques. In Illinois, in early 2025, a woman was charged with hate crimes for attacking a Muslim couple at a Panera Bread in Downers Grove due to a hoodie representing Palestine. And in Florida, a man was sentenced for a 2023 attack on a Muslim postal worker, ripping off her hijab. That's the head covering that Muslim women wear.
Yes.
Part of a wave of reported incidents continuing into 2025. And recently, we learned that when the mayoral election was taking place for Zoran Kwame Mamdani in New York, he's now the mayor of New York. He's the first Muslim to be elected mayor in New York City. That there was a lot of concern and there was a lot of things. So I just want to go to you, Sam. You know, when we think about discrimination, we can kind of testify to how that feels. What do you think about that? 8,600 incidents? Is that not a lot, my brother?
That's a lot. That's an overwhelming number. And I think what we have to remember, and I always try to remember this as a Black man. Yes, we went through slavery. Yes, it was horrific. Yes, we are unequally treated a lot, but we're not the only ones. We're not the only ones that deal with these things, that's dealt with these things. And we have to find a way to combat these racist, ignorant people because they're hurting people. And you're talking about innocent people. And it's just the bigotry, it runs deep. And how do we stop it? How do we change it? It's an ongoing quest to change the tide, but we have to figure out a way to change these things because people I saw on the news they're attacking young girls at dance studios when they're at dance practice and things like that, catching them outside or busting in and doing things like that. It's sad that innocent people aren't safe just because of their religion or who they are and their background. You need to, if you want to go out and mess with somebody, mess with the people that's doing something wrong. Go over and fight in the war and help your country win a war or something like that. But stop messing with innocent people and hurting them. And we're talking about kids as well as adults. It's like they don't even care.
It's ridiculous. Wanda B, what empathy do you have for the woman whose hijab that he snatched off? Now, isn't that how disrespectful is that? A woman.
And so it's a hijab.
Hijab.
Yes. Hijab.
It seems unreal that people would actually do something like that. But I wanted to ask, what is the call to action on this day? Are they asking for us to do anything on this particular day to combat?
So it's a day to show love for humanity. It's a day to embrace everyone. It's like non-discrimination day. So remember, we talked about Zero Discrimination Day and Zero Tolerance. It's the same concept. It's a day, and it's good that we have these things on. This is on March 15th. So this is coming up actually on Sunday.
Yep.
And so it's a day and an opportunity for people to put the differences aside
and be aware
and
of
be
what's happening to
aware
others.
and to love on each other. We need to begin to see humanity. You probably have heard Fly Guy say that before. When we see people, the first thing that comes to mind is race. That's the first thing that comes to mind. If you start dating somebody, or you think you look at somebody and you want to know if this is a person to get to know you, or if somebody tells you I got a friend that wants to get to know you, race comes to mind. Sometimes we think, oh, I want, I ain't gonna talk to her. That's a white girl, or they white. We race, but we don't know what type of individual they are. And I remember, since we talked about Reverend Jackson, Dr. King said, "Love a person by the content of their character." So race is behind you, and that's what this means. Wanted to be. We need to look at humanity,
Right.
and see the person as an individual, as human, and then maybe we won't be so fueled to attack them. Because if you cut the Muslim young lady or the Muslim guy, and somebody cut you or they cut Fly Guy, we're gonna all bleed the same type of blood, are we not?
You know the bad
Absolutely.
thing, Fly Guy, when they do days like this, it's a great thing to do it to raise awareness. But the other part of that is you have ignorant people out here who will purposely do harm or do wrong to the people on that day because they're trying to celebrate or they're trying to change something. So these are the things. This is why this country, we're in a predicament we're in, because people don't know how to walk in love, they don't know how to respect, and they don't know how to let people just be who they are
On a daily basis.
on a daily
Exactly.
basis.
And that's the problem. When we tend to put everybody in the pot. We prejudge. That's what prejudice is. We think we have one experience with a black person and we say all black people are. We have one experience with a man, we say all men are. We have one experience with a Muslim, or we have a terrorist attack and we think, oh, the Muslims did it, they gonna do this,
Right.
they own all the Dunkin' Donuts, don't go there. We start saying stuff like that because we start thinking that everybody is the same. It's good and bad in everyone.
But they do own all the Dunkin' Donuts.
They might own all the Dunkin' Donuts, but that don't mean that they trying to all kill you. It is now time for the person to person segment. This is the favorite time of the show where we get into the real talk letter. If you have a situation that you would like for the dinner crew to indulge in, please send your letter to Simeon Henderson number 9 at gmail.com. Simeon Henderson number 9 at gmail.com. You can give us a call at 708-223-8953 and let us know your thoughts on what you've heard thus far in the show. You're listening to the Real Talk Podcast with the dinner crew at Intellectual Radio, where we feed your brain.
And there's no reservations needed.
On deck now, we have Wanda B with the Dear Real Talk letter.
Okay. Greetings, Real Talk. Let me begin with the show is cool. Why, thank you, writer. Okay, I'll keep going. I absolutely love it. And the ladies as new additions, no pun. Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike. No pun. Ricky, Bobby, Ralph, Mike, Ronnie, and Johnny. Okay. You guys are a joy to listen to. Let me get to the nature of this letter regarding my week of surprises. Ooh, a week of surprises. First, I hope my letter makes it on the air. It did. Here we go. I'm sure you receive a lot of letter requests from your listeners. Yes, we do. Real talk. My 14-year-old daughter, Elise, has upset me to my core. My husband and I told her she should not date until she turns 16 years old. Well, that clearly went in one ear and out the other. Here's the situation. My birthday was last weekend. Last Saturday, my sister and I went shopping and to lunch. My husband works on weekends. The plan was on Saturday evening, my husband and I would go to our favorite club, the Jazz Oasis, for live entertainment and enjoy an evening amongst the two of us. Well, to my surprise, that was sabotaged. Uh-oh, what'd she do? When I arrived home from my afternoon shopping, I opened my daughter's closet to hang some items I purchased for her and found a 15-year-old boy named Elliot hiding in her closet. What? Oh, wait.
Fly Guy,
let
don't
me
you got a
calm
nephew
down.
named Elliot?
I do
You're
not.
right. Where your nephew at?
I do not.
Where my son at? Anyway, okay. I screamed so loud. The young man immediately tried to explain who he was, that he was a friend of my daughter's. But what you doing in my closet, Elliot? Okay, anyway, in the interim, my husband arrived home from work. She still had the boy there hostage. My daughter was in the bathroom when this erupted. She came out to face parental hostility and Elliot in the hot seat at the dining room table. Uh-oh. As angry as I was, I had to keep my husband off the young man. Needless to say, my evening was spent at home scolding my daughter. I don't trust leaving her home alone again. My daughter has violated my trust and the no dating or boy involvement rule until she turns 16. Real talk, what can I do? This is a breach of trust by my daughter. I don't feel as confident that she listens to our advice on making responsible decisions. Sign, my rules are not to be broken.
Wow.
I ain't playing.
Like Whoopi Goldberg told Oprah Winfrey in The Color Purple, beat her. Told Harpo, beat her.
Oh no.
Beat her.
Beat her.
Beating her is
Beat
not the answer. What is beating her gonna do? Elliot, whatever happened, Elliot was they done.
That's not,
Elliot was already in
and
the
that's not
closet.
that's hey, look, that's not the first time that's happened.
How you know it ain't? She only 14.
No, I thought she says.
Uh-uh.
Oh yeah, she's
She's
14.
not supposed to date
14,
until
but
she's
not supposed to
16.
date until
Yeah,
she's
Okay,
16.
don't leave her home alone. At least
These-
is not to be trusted. This is normal.
These kids
We
are
can't
behavior.
say Elise can't be trusted.
Why not?
She said it.
At least because. So here's the deal.
The mama
had
said it.
rules. She broke the rules.
She broke. What teenager hasn't broke
Exact.
rules?
So, and you don't
So
think
that
she's gonna
don't
break
mean
it in?
Elise can't be trusted. It
Mama
means
said
that
this
breaking
is
the
a breach
rules
of
means you-
trust by my
I
daughter.
understand
She
what
breached
Mama
her
said.
trust.
Mama is speaking from her emotion. Mama is
Okay,
angry. Mama
as well
is
as she
upset.
should.
Exactly. She should be upset because I don't know how I would feel if I went to my daughter's closet to look for something or to put something in there for whatever, and it's a little boy sitting in there.
You
You
need
know
to
what-
get
you
smarter,
know
at
what-
least.
you know
There's
what
better ways to do this.
But I think what it sounds like
No.
happened, the letter, can't tell it all. But I think what happened is the parents were away. The young man came over, whether it was intentional or unintentional.
It was intentional.
And the parents came in, and so they were gonna be busted. So Elise thought to hide the young man in the closet,
Which made it worse,
thinking
Elise.
the parents gonna leave out again, or when the mama go in her room or whatever the case may be,
She'll get him out
she'll
the
sneak
house.
him out the house. Well, she didn't know that the mama came home with gifts. The mama came home bearing gifts. Opened the closet to hang the stuff up.
Oh,
And microwave. There's Elliot.
Hey,
So Sim, what would you do if you opened your daughter's closet? Because you have a daughter. What would you do if that were you walking in and a little dude was sitting there on the floor? Hey, Mr. Henderson.
He would have had a be symbolic talk.
Hey, Mr. Henderson.
what was that
Would
song?
Fly Guy have had
What
to
was
come
that
bail
song?
you out of jail?
And Mama used to say, "Take your time, young man." I'm gonna tell you honestly. Now, here's the reality. If I open the closet, he's fully clothed. He has. Wait, let me tell you. If he has all his clothes on, she has all her clothes on. There isn't a stench in the air of anything. I'm going to talk to him. Now, that's scenario one. Scenario two. If I open the closet and he's butt naked, I'm probably going to lose my mind.
Well,
And in
this
losing
lady
my
did not
mind,
say,
and in
thank God.
But that's
I
what I'm
didn't need
saying.
a
You're
visual.
asking me what would I do, and I'm giving you two scenarios. That second scenario, I would probably reach out and touch.
But you can't put your hands
somebody's
on a
neck.
kid.
I'm just saying, he breaking and entering.
He didn't break
He's
it
in
in
her-
her.
he's in
Not
his
when
closet.
Not when Elise let him in.
He's in,
Not when she let him in. When
Yeah.
she welcomed him
well,
in.
well, well. I'm gonna beat both of them, so then they can't say I just beat them.
Right. He wasn't prejudiced.
Exactly. He
So-
whooped both of them, so I can't be mad at him. He whooped his daughter too.
My rules are not made to be broken. I think you and your husband should sit down and talk to Elise and help her understand, first of all, that you want to be careful when you have boys over and there's no adult supervision, no adult in the room, because things can easily go south.
But they've already
And you
had a
don't
talk,
want-
Fly Guy.
No, we don't know what talk they had. We know that she told her she couldn't date until she's 16.
Ain't nobody over to the house.
But we don't know what details that she talked about. She could have just
What
told her. Well, I don't know what the conversation was.
If your mama tell you can't bring nobody over to the house, what do you mean?
Okay, well, but still, if you say that, did you always do everything Miss Emma told you?
We're not talking about me.
That part right there.
Because I remember one time.
I know I did.
Hey.
Well, exactly.
But I wasn't gonna get caught. I wasn't gonna put him in the closet. I put him out the house.
So
you need to get out.
You better get up under this bed and don't breathe.
If your mama coming in, I don't know, what these people live in. If they live in an apartment building, they got an 18-room mansion.
Yep.
But whatever the case may be, she couldn't get him out as fast as the parents were coming in. So she had to think fast. So she was like, get in the closet. Right. And the dude got in the closet. They didn't think the mama was going to come in there. The little girl went to the bathroom. She come out. All hell and broke loose. Elliot been found out about it. He at the dining room table. But I think you should just talk to your daughter and teach her about the respect that young ladies demand from boys and nurture her in the wrong. It's okay that she did this. Maybe nothing happened.
It's not okay that she did.
No, it's the reason why I said it's okay is because we learn from our mistakes.
So talk to her.
You're supposed to learn from your mistakes.
So definitely talk to her. A, talk to her. B, beat her. No, I'm just joking.
You talk to her, and so that she can learn from the mistakes, so that she can realize the wrong that she did. Because if you start screaming and hollering and punishment and all of that, all she's doing is seeing an emotion. Yeah. She's not being educated on the why.
So what happens?
She doesn't understand why I'm 14 years old. I'm a freshman in high school. Why can't I entertain boys?
What?
I like boys. At
what
14,
what do you
now?
I get that. Now, what do you do if it happens again?
Now, if it happens again, it gets physical under my roof.
Beat her.
It gets physical. Because
see, now you want to beat her.
Well, because now we've laid a foundation.
Okay.
I've given you a chance. I've explained to you what to do and why not to do.
Okay, I'm with you on that.
I'm in charge.
I'm with you.
So if you choose, you consciously make a choice to disobey and not abide by the rules that I set. Now we have a bigger problem.
So, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Exactly. Wanda B, did you have boys in your closet at 14?
No. Wanda's still a virgin.
No. Okay, I won't even explain that again. Okay, no, because Angie didn't play that. You were gonna be long gone before Angie came home from anywhere.
Wait a minute. Did you hear what she just said? Did anybody? Wait a minute. Did anybody just hear what she just said? She said that her mama didn't play that, and then gonna say you was gonna be long gone.
I wasn't getting caught.
Hey, look, if my mama get off at 9, you gotta leave at 6.
Right.
We ain't playing no games.
Right. I'm not even getting close to the time my mama.
Wanda B, in the words of my mother, you are something else.
Look, I think that it's some things may be too hard in this generation of children. The waiting to 16 may be
antiquated.
Yes. Now, maybe the not having people in your home, the kids do that now. I have children. I know they do that. And she will have to earn trust again. And for me, it would have to be earning trust again. You may have to leave her home alone if you're not going to pay for a babysitter for this 14-year-old. But yes, I would sit down and talk to her, but you will be punished because I've already told you not to do something. Right. So you've already broken one of my rules. So there will be repercussions. You can make a choice. You have a free will, but you're going to face consequences for the choices you make.
And it's just one of those things. Honestly, we make fun. I make fun of a lot of things.
Yes, you make fun.
I do. A lot of things. But the reality of it is, you do have to talk to her. And I agree with what Fly Guy said. The first time, we're going to talk about it. We're going to go through it and everything. Now, if you do it again, we're going to have a coming to Jesus meeting. And at the end of the meeting, we're going to lay hands and make sure it don't happen
laying
again.
hands is not a like pray for thing, right? No, I want to know what lay hands to you guys mean.
And you cannot punch Elliot. You can't beat Elliot to the white meat because Elliot ain't your child.
Yeah, exactly.
So but Elliot don't come over here no more though. You better learn. I'm letting you go this time.
Tell Elliot you better leave out of here. You got 10 seconds.
I don't think the harshness should be on Elliot personally. I think it should be on the daughter because the
Yeah,
daughter,
you're right.
he wouldn't
I
have been
agree.
there if
If
she
she
wouldn't
didn't
have let
invite
him
him.
in.
I
That's
agree.
it. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on
But
that.
you got to put a little fear in him that next time daughter says, "Come on over," he
Yeah.
like, your parents crazy. No.
Question. Fly guy. Have you ever gone to a young lady's house when you were younger and got caught by her parents? He laughing
Oh,
too hard.
wait.
He
You
laughing too
not
hard. He laughing too hard. Yeah.
Right.
Anytime
Yes,
he
I
laughed that
have.
hard, he
Yes,
did
I
it.
have. Yes, I
I
have.
were
know
you in the
Fly Guy.
closet? Did you get caught?
I wasn't in the
So-
closet, but I
Oh,
have.
what
Did they
were
yell
you
at you?
doing?
No. So no. So we actually,
All right, Elliot.
we actually were sitting on the couch watching
Kissing.
television. No, we
Just
sitting
watching
on the couch
television.
chilling, But the rule was that her mother was kind of strict.
Right.
The girl was, I will say, she was kind of fast, if that's what you want to say.
That's why you over there. And now
exactly
you
why I
want
was
to label
over
her
there.
fast.
But-
Your
Fly
fast.
guy just said. Fly guy just said he was hitting that.
But
or
her
trying to at
mom
least.
didn't want her to have boy company. She could have her little girlfriends over
Right.
if her mom wasn't home. You know what I'm saying? After school and that type
Okay,
of
so
thing,
how did
'cause
this
she didn't
story
want
go?
But the mother had a conversation with me.
Mhm.
She explained to me what that rule is of that house. And then she asked me to respect the rule. So if the young lady
Yeah.
did invite me over
Don't
again,
come back in
she
here.
was expecting me to say, well, no, let's go, for lack of better words, to the park. Or let's go
Right, we can't
somewhere
go to your
public.
house. Yeah.
Because being in an intimate setting, unsupervised, there is always the risk. So I realized now as an adult what her mom was actually doing was risk management. She was trying to safeguard her daughter because a boy could take
course.
advantage of a girl in territory.
Last
like
question.
that.
Had her mama not showed up, would you have hit?
Why are you asking me that?
I'm just asking.
Why are you not answering that?
Thank you. That's
Well,
a
I
question.
mean, it could have gone there. Yeah, it could have gone there. It could
See y'all
have
next
gone
time.
there. It could have gone there. It could have gone there. I ain't gonna lie. It could have gone there.
See,
That was
you
part
had
of being
ill
over there.
intentions.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But
That
see,
was part.
so
Now we want to put fly guys.
No. That was young Fly Guy. Hey, but Fly Guy, but seriously though, what you said, that was my point, is that if a young man comes over and she invites him over, whether it's about
There's
whether it's
always hope.
whether
Keep hope alive.
whether it's about sex or not, there's going to be some kissing and some touching and some things going on when they
We're
are
just
alone.
friends, Dad.
Exactly.
But that's okay. It's all in love. So we hope you all figured out Elise, Elliot, mom, and dad. We hope that you all may end up becoming one big happy family one day. We never know as the world turns. Someone shot in Rihanna's house. Now I'm confused because I think this is about the second or third incident that's happened at Rihanna's house.
They're not shooting at her.
Now, a young lady shot in the house.
Oh.
And she did. They called her. Law enforcement sources says the suspect was identified as 35-year-old Ivana Lisette Ortiz.
That's about that
she
man.
She was booked on attempted murder and bail set at, listen to this dollar amount. Now, if you could buy me a gift for this amount, we all good for life. $10,225,000. She remains in custody. Multiple rounds were fired, Wanda B.
That's about a man.
What could Rihanna have done?
That's about a man.
I don't know.
How
She
do you know it's
cuckoo.
about a man?
The girl was
about a
cuckoo
man.
for Cocoa Puffs.
Exactly, and it was about a man.
Well, regardless, Rihanna, we are glad that you are safe.
Definitely.
And somebody broke in her house a couple of years ago. So it's interesting. Why would Rihanna, of all people, be a target? Doesn't
Because
she
she's
seem like
rich.
she's kind of quiet.
No, she's a billionaire.
What does that have to do with it? She's a
What do you
billionaire,
mean?
but she's not messy.
That's
boots.
why they but
Crazy
no,
But that's what
fans.
I'm saying.
No, that's
she's
what-
not controversial. She's
it don't
not
matter. They
conflicting.
try. She got money, and they
Oprah
probably
is a
try-
billionaire.
but-
Did anybody shoot in her house?
Well, they can't get to her.
Beyonce is a billionaire. Has anybody
They
shot in her
definitely
house?
can't get to her.
Serena Williams is wealthy. Has anybody shot in her house?
Security.
Don't nobody
She
want
need
her.
more security.
Earl, the other Winfrey, is wealthy. Did anybody shoot in Earl's house?
I'm
Please don't.
I'm just gonna knock. I'm just gonna knock on this door. I'm gonna knock on
Just
this
come
door.
ask. Don't
think-
shoot.
I said all of that to say that I just named several affluent Black people, and nobody has shot in their house.
Yeah.
So why is it that Rihanna is the target?
It's something to this. It's not just there's something to it. I'm telling you. There's
Obviously,
something
it's
to it.
something to it, but don't you get that Rihanna is a little on the softer side? That
What that
she's
mean?
real cool. She seems like she's real cool,
Fly
real
guy,
laid
you
back.
don't know
Nah.
her.
When have you seen
But you
her?
don't know her.
When have you seen her in an altercation or heard of her in
That
an
girl may have
altercation?
asked her for a picture. I want a picture, and she was like, "Girl, leave me." I don't know.
First of
I don't
all,
know
where did she get
Rihanna.
her address from?
They did talk about that on the news and said that they want to come out with something. How easily it is to get stars' addresses.
Well,
now.
usually your
Yeah.
home, like I guarantee you, Beyonce's house is not in her name. So I would think
You don't
that
think
if
so?
you're that, I would think if I were at that level of wealth and I purchased property, it wouldn't be in my name.
Oh,
It would
or
be in a
alias.
fictitious name.
Or alias.
That part. That's why
Like
I
Sasha
said,
Fierce.
how do you get someone's address like that?
Well, they said
So
the girl
clearly,
is
don't nobody show up at Fly Guy's house. If y'all
Well.
checking for Rihanna like that, don't check for Fly Guy.
Hey, I'm letting
please.
you know right now. I'm a semi-celebrity. You show up at my house, I'm shooting back.
Simo, tell us what's going on in 2026 NFL signings and trades. Sports is getting hot, man. It's getting heated. They moving people around everywhere.
Man, they moving people around like musical chairs. You have new free agent signings. You have Kobe Bryant signed a 3-year, $40 million deal from the Seattle Seahawks. He's a safety, everybody. Neville Gilmore, he's a defensive tackle. He agreed to a 2-year, $12 million contract to provide interior defensive help. And Devin Bush, he's reportedly to sign a 3-year, $30 million contract. And then we have so many people. There's one I want to talk about. I'll get to it. But Garrett Bradbury, he was acquired in the trade from New England Patriots in exchange for a 2027 fifth-round pick to fill the void left by Drew Delmar's retirement. That was the center that retired from the Chicago Bears at the age of 27 because he didn't want to be knucklehead getting hit in his head all the time. We have Theo Bennett. He re-signed a 1-year contract, $1 million contract. DJ Moore. The Bears let DJ Moore go. They traded him to the Buffalo Bills along with 2026 fifth-round pick for a 2026 second-round pick. And then you got Tremaine Edmonds. He was released to clear approximately $15 million in salary cap. And then you have Drew Dahlman announced his retirement. And then there was my man, the wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He got traded to the 49ers. That's Mike Edwards. Not Edwards. What's his last? Evans. Mike Evans. And there was one more trade that went down. And then Crosby was supposed to be traded from the Raiders to the Ravens. And the day of the signing, they rejected it.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
That was crazy work.
So wanted to be DJ was your dude.
Yeah.
Wanted to be
DJ.
that was a mistake to get
That was
rid
a
of
big
DJ.
mistake getting rid of DJ.
But you know why they got rid of him, right? They didn't have.
They need the money for somebody else. Who they trying to get?
Who you saw what they trying to get?
Well, they have a pot.
Pick.
They have a pot. They got millions of dollars that they can work with, and they can get some good people. So the Bears might actually really get to the Super Bowl this year. I'm hoping that 2026 is the year of the Bear. So I'm hoping I'm gonna have to call one of my Chinese friends and say, what is 2026 the year of? But I'm hoping that they get there. So Sim, you want to take us down memory lane and talk to us about the I'm Not Sober Comedy Showcase? I talked early on about how we were on location this weekend, and you were at the I'm Not Sober Comedy Showcase that featured Mr. Chicago.
Mr. Chicago is also a comedian.
So let me tell you like this. I was a little nervous because I haven't been on stage in like 7-8 months. But once I got there in the atmosphere, there were literally people coming up to me saying, the only reason I came to the show is because you were on the flyer. So like when you hear stuff like that, it really makes you awesome. It makes you want to do well.
That's
and
awesome.
Lady C was there. She captured the whole thing, Earl. She has awesome pictures of the whole night. She brought a professional camera. We had video of the night. And to go up there and be able, everybody knows what I've gone through, and to be able to make people laugh at my pain and educate people. I'll tell you guys this one quick joke that I said. I talked about how, I understand why guys are leery to go to the doctor to get their prostate checked. Well, the first time I got mine checked, I'll never forget this. I was getting myself together, and he says, "Quit being a big baby and bend over and get this over with." So I looked at him and I said,
This what the
"You,"
doctor
the
said?
doctor said to me. And so I said, without blinking an eye, Earl, I said, "No, you give me the glove and you bend over and let me stick my finger up your ass." And
Oh, my
he thought that was funny. And so but at the end of it, he was like, "Bend over." So, which was, I get it though. But so when he did it, what I didn't understand is why he was checking it. Why did he take his free hand and put it on the back of my neck?
Oh, wow. He got a little kinky.
And then I couldn't understand.
Kinky
And,
boots.
and then as I'm listening, I'm like, I hear R&B music playing in the background.
Oh.
And then I'm like,
I don't
man,
Johnny
see
Gill.
nothing
No.
wrong.
Johnny
No,
Gill, right.
no.
It was R. Kelly.
It was Keith Sweat.
Oh, my
yeah.
God.
I
Something
think-
else happened at your thing.
But I think the thing that threw me off the
You
worst.
just shocked every
Look,
brother out there. Now,
right.
you made
Black guy.
everybody.
They
Wanda,
not going
I
now
think the
for
thing
real.
that threw me off the worst was when I looked down, he didn't have no shoes on. I didn't know that you were supposed to get comfortable while giving a check. So
Your
hey,
doctor got
hey,
barefoot with
hey,
him.
let me tell you something.
He
Needless,
Taking
got so
things
good
off.
to him. He took his shoes
Hey.
off, Wanda B.
Hey,
He's
look.
like, bend
Hey.
over and be quiet.
I said, man,
Brother,
I don't even get down with Keith
you a
Sweat.
soldier.
You wanted him to change the music. You're like, what's
No,
with this?
I want him
Like,
to turn the music off.
Oh my God, brother. You are a soldier.
Y'all don't get
No.
scared by this. This is not
So,
what normally happens.
I'll be
I don't
letting you
think.
guys know when I'm going on stage again. And next time we're gonna get the whole dinner crew out. We're gonna have everybody there. We're gonna get Fly Guy to speak and say some things. And we're
Oh,
gonna Wanda
definitely.
B. She's just gonna laugh.
Fly
We need
guy
her.
open it
Right,
up.
I'm just there to
Yeah,
laugh.
we're gonna have some fun. It'll be Lady C, Wanda B, Fly Guy, and myself.
And all
So
of you
we'll
all
let you know what's
coming.
going on. Another one is coming up, guys. So stay tuned and be ready. But IntellectualRadio.com is on the move. We are going places. We are getting in the doors, and we are giving the people what they want, and that's good entertainment. That's going to not only feed their brain, but make them laugh and make them feel good.
Exactly. We inform, we inspire,
And
and
thank
we
you.
entertain.
Thank you to
So,
everybody
Wanda-
that came out as well. And I will say this last thing, Earl. I brought 10 books I said, let me just take some books with me and some t-shirts. I saw every book and every t-shirt that I had.
Nice.
So thank you to the people that showed love and that started following me on social media and that's watching the show tonight. Thank you guys, because we're here for you.
All right. Wanda B, as we wrap up, take us out on an affirmation for the rest of the week.
Oh, I'm still on Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. I'm still keeping my hope alive, but I want you all to make sure you do that and mean it and share this with start telling your kids to say these things.
Say what, Wanda?
Keep hope alive.
you go.
I am somebody.
There you go.
Share this with the young so we can keep him going. We can keep, I think it's important now that we share this with the youth.
Exactly. And on that note, be proud of the skin that you're in. God don't make no junk. God doesn't make any mistakes. So thank God for how he made you, because you are a gift. Live your best life and remember to live it out loud. I'm your Fly Guy.
And I want you guys to remember this. It's time to be free. And what do I mean when I say be free? It's time to be free of all the noise, all the obstacles, all the haters and blockers. It's time for you to be free to walk in your purpose, achieve your goals, and do the things that's deep down in your heart to do. Don't give up. Keep trying. Keep pushing. Because at the end of the day, when you're symbolic, you're deeply rooted, it'll stimulate your growth. You got this. Be your best. Peace. Intellectual Radio, the dinner crew. We out.
Real talk. Peace.
Bye.